Yo! So it's been a while since I've recorded one of these videos, but I wanted to get back into it because, it's a good skill to have, it's fun to do. Today we're continuing our series on the 48 Laws of Power, and I'm talking about Law 10. This is probably one of the most important. It's avoid unlucky people. Do not be infected by their poor attitudes. So people who are unhappy, people who are unlucky, you owe them zero. You're not a psychologist, you're not a therapist, you're not unpaid emotional labor, as these people like to talk about. So, here's what we're going to talk about. First, energy is contagious, both positive and negative energy. Whoever you surround yourself with, that's what's going to infect you. So keep that in mind whenever you decide where to spend your time. Being around unhappy, unlucky, weak, and chaotic people will drain your power, right? These are people who thrive off of infecting other people. They have nothing else positive to add. Now, your emotional state is probably your most important asset. How you affect other people as well, right? Like if you're being negatively affected by unhappy people, then you're going to pass that along. And people who are a little bit more cognizant, who are a little bit more self-aware of how their emotional state is affected, will not associate with you. So don't do that. Protecting your mood and your focus is essential for winning, right? You cannot just randomly spend your attention and energy and then expect to have a good outcome. So, the problem with there are huge consequences if you surround yourself with negative people. These sorts of people will cause you to start making excuses, you'll think small, you'll self-sabotage, and you'll be feeling off and tired. Now, there's a few different types of people to avoid. The first is the professional victim. Now, for this person, it's always somebody else who's causing them harm. It's like their boss or their company culture or society or feminism, something like that. They'll always have somebody to blame for their own outcomes, and they never take self-responsibility. Now, astrology is one of those things that's kind of fun. You kind of talk about it with women, whatever. But if you meet a guy who's seriously talking about astrology, I found that they're always this way. They think the stars are affecting their life outcomes. And even people who are like really into psychology, like personality types. That is fun. It's interesting. It's good to know a little bit about yourself. But understand that you are not dictated by a personality type. You can change your persona. You can alter your character through conscious activity, through action. People who don't believe that tend to be stuck in cycles, right? These are people who blame everything. They're allergic to ambition. They are fearful of responsibility. And the problem is these people often mock your goals. They will belittle you, or they will just simply have nothing to offer you if you start talking about big ideas. And the thing is, if you hang around these people, they will force you into mediocrity. The next one is the drama addict. Now, we all know that person who is constantly surrounded by drama. It's like they feed off of it. They live in constant chaos and conflict. Now, they will drag you into their emotional turmoil if you let them, because that's what they want to do, right? They want somebody to vent to. They want somebody to talk about other people to. Now, if you hang around these people, not only will you have to suffer listening to their pettiness, they will eventually talk about you as well. So it's best just to keep those people at a distance. Do not associate with them. Do not hire them. Do not work with them if possible. So whenever you're around these people, you become the firefighter, right? It's constantly on you to try to smooth things over, try to tell them, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And they will never stop setting fires. Like, that's just what they do. The next sort of person is the energy vampire. This is the sort of person who overcommunicates. They dump all their problems on you. They pretend like other people owe them an ear to listen, owe them a shoulder to cry on, right? These are just people who really have no positivity to offer. They want validation, they want feedback, they're constantly asking questions, and it's good if they're going to grow from it, but they rarely do. These are info gatherers. They will cause you just to waste time. You'll lose clarity, you'll lose confidence because you're wondering, how come I'm not helping this person? Like you want to help. You want to be somebody who helps other people grow. But then you're surrounded by this person who's just not going to grow. They're just going to stay stagnant because that's what they want to do. They want to feel like they're growing. They want to be on the mission, but they never want to accomplish the mission. And the last one is just the serial loser. This is the person who just can't catch a break. And maybe they're just unlucky, but most likely is they pass over good opportunities and they make stupid decisions chronically. They probably talk big, right? They probably have big dreams, but they just never deliver. They can never stay on task. They stay stuck because they lack focus. They lack consistency. They might work hard at something for a week and then they give up. They might be very adamant about something they want to do, but then when you look at their actions, they're not a serious person. Now, this sort of person will normalize stagnation and failure for you. If you surround yourself with this sort of person, your new baseline will be, yeah, it's okay to be stuck for 6 months talking about your big goals and dreams and not do anything about it. That becomes your normal. Let that become your normal. So here's some real life examples of people that you should probably 8-6 from your life. The first one is the friends that you've overgrown. Now these people feel diminished when they see you growing. This is the classic crab bucket example. They mock your ambitions. They try to pull you down to keep you at their level because by you rising, they feel inadequate. You doing things with your life implicates that they could also be doing things with their life. But the fact that they're not makes them question their character. And rather than doing that, they would rather pull you down. So the solution is to love from a distance, right? I love you, brother, but I got things going on. I don't have time to hang out, drink beers, talk about good old times, right? I got things to do. I'm on a mission that I'm working on. I hope you understand. So, and also you just need to find better friends. Find people who are on your wavelength of making things happen, of hustling, of grinding, training, whatever it is. The next sort of person who you will probably encounter is the fun girl who is unstable. Now, this is my downfall, but there's a lot of women out there who have almost nothing to offer you besides what's between their legs. It's just what it is. Now, these girls are usually attractive. They're a little bit emotionally chaotic. They don't offer you that sort of grounding pleasantness. They don't offer you the sort of soothingness that should go along with a relationship, right? A girl should be somebody who you can relax with, not somebody who causes additional emotional turmoil and additional emotional weight. So you need to separate your baseline attraction from what you're actually doing. Yes, this girl's attractive, but I'm not going to fuck with her because I know that it's not good for me. It's not going to take me down a road where I want to go. So you got to walk away from those situations sooner rather than later. The next person you will definitely encounter are social circles that are just stuck in neutral. Now these are people who hang out at bars, who are constantly partying, have a good time, vibing, chilling, but to what end? To nothing. Now maybe they're able to hustle 9 to 5. They're weekend warrior types. Good for them. But a lot of times you end up with people who prioritize partying, hanging out, drinking on a constant basis, and they never get anywhere. They're slowly whittling away their lives. So you need to stop asking permission from these people to do good things. You need to just separate yourself. Quit going to the bar, quit hanging out with people who are drinking buddies, and then you will find it much easier to do good things. Now, you need to be able to spot whenever people are infecting you with their negative intentions or their negative energy very early. So if you feel tired around somebody, if you feel unclear or uncertain about your goals after you hang out with somebody, now again, it's good for people to question you. It's good for people to give you that feedback, to challenge your assumptions. But if that's all somebody ever does, if that's all they do is kind of question you and drag you down, then you probably need to get rid of them. So again, people who make you second guess your goals or people who encourage your bad habits, you get that a lot, right? You get people who you vibe well with, but only because they're helping you bring out the worst parts of your personality. They're like, yeah, bro, let's go get high for 3 days straight. That's not the sort of person you want to hang out with, even though they might be appealing to that side of you who wants to party, who wants to just relax. So you need to. Oh, and the other sort of person, the other way to spot somebody who's infecting you is if they're making you feel guilty by growing. And a lot of times this will be family, right? You'll get family who just stuck in their hometown, who, oh, why are you leaving me? You don't love your mother, blah, 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 blah. There's no reason why you should be hanging out with these people. You need to separate yourself. You need to leave your shithole hometown to do big things. You're never going to accomplish your goals by staying in the same place, especially if you are born in a place that isn't that ambitious. And lastly, whenever you dread communicating with somebody, when you dread their call, whenever they call and you're like, oh God, I gotta talk to this person, that's a clear sign that you need to eradicate them from your sphere of influence, right? Just remove them from your life. Quit answering their call. It's okay. You do not owe them your presence. Access to you is not a human right. So, the best way to accomplish this is just to practice that strategic detachment. Audit your circle. Ask yourself, is this person that I'm spending time with, are they helping me grow or are they holding me back? Where will I be in the next 3, 5, 10 years if I keep on spending time with somebody like this? Will I be where I want to be, or will I be in the same place or in a worse position? Create distance, not drama. You don't have to explain to anybody why you're not hanging out with them. You don't have to try to encourage them to be better, right? You just need to fade out. You need to restrict your presence. Again, don't explain. Don't try to change them. It's not your position. It's not your job. Don't waste energy trying to do that. The next thing you need to do is you need to upgrade your environment. So you need to strategically seek out places that have high quality, ambitious people. And you need to make an effort to be around them, to absorb their knowledge, and to provide value yourself. You can't become the emotional leech upon them. Lastly, again, don't play savior. Only help those who help themselves. The people who are helplessly stuck in their bad habits and their negative patterns, let them be stuck. It's not your job to rescue them. So, a few final thoughts. Energy is power. The wrong people means you are losing potential. You need to protect your mindset and your environment, right? You need to be ruthless about maintaining a good environment that helps you vector towards your goals. Again, if people call you selfish, if they call you an asshole, that's fine, that's cool, it's okay, you don't care. Change is your goal, like to become a better person, to reach your goals. That's what you need to be focused on. You're here to build an empire, to do good things, not to rescue every drowning person that you come across, right? Unless you are a social worker, unless that's your life's mission, is to spend time trying to help people who have put themselves into terrible situations, then you need to let those people drown, right? The world would be a better place if we quit saving people who can't save themselves. We end up with a bunch of dependents. It's like feeding rats is kind of what it's like. It's like, imagine a city where everybody just throws crumbs to rats, and then you just end up with a bunch of rats everywhere, right? We need to not do that. And you need to not be one of those people who are throwing crumbs to rats around you, right? Lock your food away, right? Your food is your energy. Lock it away. Do not let the rats consume it. Otherwise you will just end up with more rats around you. Learn to swim, right? Learn to swim fast. Don't be rescuing drowning people who are only going to pull you down with them. Now, if you like this, leave a comment. Let me know if there's somebody you're going to cut off in your life in order to grow. Also, you can subscribe to my Substack, No BS Philosophy. Every single week, I post about one big idea that helps you beat through apathy, procrastination, and just a general shittiness so that you can level up and reach your potential. So lastly, I just want you to stay clean, stay focused, brush off the haters, and I'll see you next time.